Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another Dental B School Instructor on the Spot. This is our program where we have our illustrious, amazing Dental B School's instructors, and we ask them 5 questions that they have not been prepped for. Today, we have Anjali Singh from Pacific Advisors. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Anjali.
So I've been licensed for 22 years, and I work with healthcare providers all over the country in various insurance capacities. So life, disability, malpractice, commercial. Some of those are only limited to California. But I feel like my job is to help clients figure out what they need, both as required by banks or landlords, as well as policies that are prudent to have in their careers.
Nice. So you're kind of saving everyone from themselves almost.
I do my best. I can't always
You're a
make it work,
superhero.
yeah,
I love it.
I definitely do my best, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you joined me today. We just got 5 quick questions. I'm not going to put too much pressure on you, but we're going to see what you have to say about a couple things. So fast 5 questions for Anjali Singh from Pacific Advisor. First, we have, what is the best piece of insurance advice you would give to our clients, which are young dentists who want to become practice owners?
Yeah, I'd say the best 2 pieces of advice I give are to make decisions for your coverage based on your specific situation. So I see a lot of times with young practitioners, they'll often go with peer pressure, or they'll just do what everybody else is doing. And, ultimately, if you have a claim or an issue, it's your reputation, your assets, your livelihood that's on the line. So I think doing your own due diligence and making sure that you get what works for your situation versus just what the blanket everybody's doing. I think that can carry you a very long way. And then I'd say, just like in dentistry and medicine where you have checkups, it's very important to have insurance checkups where over time you check in and get your coverage adjusted as needed, because your situation will evolve over time. So it's not like you set it up and forget it. You
Right.
want to stay proactive, and if you change your name, have a baby, expand your office, those kind of things, definitely reach out and make sure that your policy is in line with your current situation.
And so if there aren't any life events, is there a period of time that you recommend for these kind of check-ins, or just mainly if something changes?
I'd say as things change, as much as practical. I mean, I know with some open enrollments, you have like 30 days after a baby's born, and that's tough. I mean, when you have a baby, you can't really, you're just trying to get by through the day and the night. But I'd say in general, as close as you reasonably can to the event. And then sometimes there are certain things where if you know they're coming, depending on the line of insurance, you can make a change ahead of time. So for example, if you're expanding your office, if you know you're getting a bunch of equipment, you can always reach out and time the increase for, when your equipment's actually going to show up.
Okay, love it. Okay, this is similar, but what do you see as a mistake that new practice owners make?
Yeah, I'd say, again, 2 things. So like I touched on before, people making decisions that aren't, for their own benefit or their own situation, but just doing blindly what somebody tells them to do. I think that's one thing. And then I'd say, honestly, procrastination. So, I have people that think about plans and then they don't take any action, and they reach out and they're just like, oh yeah, like my office got broken into, or I had a malpractice claim, or I got hurt. And I kind of use it an example of, after you wreck a car, you can't buy car insurance. And so for the type of policies that a business owner or a practice owner would have, you can't often correct things once the event has occurred. So I know we're juggling a lot in COVID world, but just trying to stay on top of your events and your needs as much as possible. And when something's coming up, or you need to take care of something, try to reach out on a timely basis as much as you can. And in our office, we try to make it easy. So usually it's pretty painless making adjustments, but however you're working, you just want to make sure you're taking care of things before something happens.
And what about if a young dentist isn't even necessarily doesn't know yet if they're going to be a practice owner, but they're going to start working as an associate? Is there still a need to reach out to you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple policies that associates carry that they should have just as their careers go along. So disability and life come to mind. Malpractice insurance if you don't have a group policy at the practice. Those are
Okay.
things that all practitioners should have.
Okay. Good. Love it. How about this? Sometimes there's lingo in many different places, and you can be intimidated by it. What's an insurance lingo that isn't that complicated really, but somebody might be like, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, so again, I would like to provide two answers if I can.
You're the queen of two
More,
answers.
more bang for the buck, right? So
Yeah.
I'd say two terms that I hear thrown around that people either are confused by or they don't know what they mean. I hear the term EPLI come out of people's mouths, and they say, "I've heard I need this, but I don't know what it is." And EPLI coverage is Employment Practices Liability Insurance. And what it does is it protects against things such as harassment suits, failure to hire, wrongful termination, things of that nature. And that has become a hot button issue in the healthcare field because, as things happen, employers can get named in suits. And I know COVID even added a layer because there have been some suits where employees didn't feel safe or comfortable at the work site. So EPLI is a term. I have people come to me and they say, hey, I've heard or read that this is important to have, but I don't know what it is.
Okay.
And that should hopefully demystify it. And
That's a
then
good one. Yeah.
in the malpractice space, the phrase pure consent to settle. I get a lot of questions around, well, what does that mean? Or, I think I have it, or why do I care? So what pure consent to settle means is, as a practitioner, and this is true both for physicians as well as dentists,
Okay.
that you have the final say so whether your carrier fights for you or they, just turn around and write a check. And the reason that's so important is that for malpractice carriers, settling can often be the less expensive path. But as a practitioner, once you have a claim that's been, rendered against you, that can have multiple long-term effects. It can lead to some board action. It could lead to damage to the reputation. It can affect your future insurance prices. So it is important to be proactive with that. And if a claim is reasonable to defend, you should be able to make that judgment call, not have somebody tell you it has to be done this way or that way.
Okay. Okay. So power to the
Yeah.
power to the insured.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, for sure.
It's a superhero theme. Now you're bringing power to the insured.
Absolutely.
Okay. You just were touching on a little bit, but COVID and craziness, everything that's happening right now. What are some obstacles happening right now that young practice owners might need to know about or think about before they're even getting into this?
Yeah, so again, as we've touched on, employment suits are up. So I've heard from people that they have this impression that they don't need to get EPLI coverage until they've been an owner for so long. Frankly, the transition period is one of the more vulnerable times. So if you're coming into a practice that has an established team and you're the new owner, that can sometimes lead to events. So I'd say, especially in the current world where things are so touchy, that's an area of concern. I've also seen a rise in malpractice inquiries. So, just like everybody in the world, patients have become a little more or a little less patient, as well as some of the protocols around COVID are tough. So some people don't like masks or they don't want their temperatures taken. There was a viral video that went around a couple months ago where an adult woman was throwing a full-on tantrum because she didn't want her temperature taken and she didn't want to wear a mask in a dental office.
Wow.
It's a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of thing that's happening. And I've gotten calls from clients who are saying, yeah, I had a patient actually, do something along those lines in my office. So, I'd say those are two things. And then not to be all doom and gloom, but I'd say one of the positives is that some of the practice transitions are happening quickly. So, there was a couple month period where dental lenders were not financing offices, and that's luckily passed. And
Yes.
as a result, a lot of the practice transitions, at least the last 2 months, I'd say, they've been moving very quickly. So it does get a little complex as somebody's trying to, check off all the boxes for their loan closing. And that's where, we spend a lot of our day helping doctors take care of those kind of things.
Yeah. Want to make sure they're totally covered.
And also meeting the requirements, because when you close on a practice loan, the bank actually has requirements that you have to meet by certain time points in order to close on time.
Sounds like it's been busy, yeah?
Yeah, yeah,
Always, but
absolutely.
well, you are awesome. You've answered all of these very serious questions. And so now we just have the one pressing question, the most important one. And this is, this might have a lead into insurance. I don't know. But Anjali, what is the craziest way that you've been injured?
Oh wow.
This is not what you were
Yeah.
expecting. So here we go.
Gosh. Let me think about that for a minute. I know a couple of years ago I strained my back lifting a water cooler at the office, so I don't get water delivered anymore. I just get a little.
That's good. It also sounds like perhaps you haven't had too many injuries, which is also a fantastic thing.
Yeah, I'd say lifting a heavy water cooler. I remember exactly where and when I was. That probably wasn't the smartest idea. And then, yeah, I mean,
But no
I also
broken bones, no crazy anything like that.
honestly, the one thing, and I'll share this with you because I know you, is I jumped out of plane voluntarily in 2009. I skydove. Is that
I
yes? I
love
went
it. So
skydiving.
you are a superhero. You're the insurance superhero.
and and what they don't tell you is that when you land, you need to put your legs up and land on your bottom, because if you try to land feet first, you could snap an ankle. So I was definitely a little sore the next day or two.
I
Because
believe it.
I should have worn like thicker pants, but again, these
This
are the
is
things
good
that
to
they
know.
don't tell you.
This is good to know. I've never done it, but I've always wanted to. I did the bungee jumping once, but I've never done the skydiving. So
Okay, yeah, that was off the table, but skydiving was years ago before I had my kids, and
yeah.
it was a fun thing, but yeah, never again.
See, that's what I'm talking about. What a great story. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for bringing that to us today. And if people are looking for some help in this department and would like to reach out to you, this is your email, yes?
Absolutely, yeah. So you're welcome to send along questions. If I can't directly help you, I can usually make a referral. So yeah, please feel free to reach out with any burning insurance questions you might have, and I'll do my best to take care of them.
I love it. And also you can see her on dentalbschool.com. We've got insurance 1, 2, and 3, I think, 3 lessons up there. Thank you so much for being a great instructor for us and also for joining me today. You've been great. And yeah, hopefully we're rounding the corner on COVID and everybody's going to be starting to really get busy again.
Yeah, fingers crossed, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you
And
for having me.
yeah, we'll see you on Dental B School.